Airfield AA, since the Red Skies update, is a hotly debated topic when it comes to Air RB. One side says it's so OP, it makes airfield camping a viable strategy, while the other side says it's better, so that players couldn't just strafe their way to victory. Around before Sky Guardians, the Airfield AA had a fatal flaw. You could climb to 4,000 meters altitude, fly to the back of the airfield, and dive on them, and the AA wouldn't detect you. Unfortunately, this has been fixed by adding super accurate M247s for each airfield that could snipe anyone in a dive. Now there's been calls for AA to be nerfed to some degree. We'll explore the reasons of those wishing a nerf, and we'll also explore those who rely on Airfield AA and see why they might like to keep it this way. The main reason that players go for when they want Airfield AA to be nerfed is because it makes airfield camping a viable strategy. A player so hopelessly outclassed will run to the airfield to deter opponents. Because of the Airfield AA capability, the player can also hope that AA dispatches some enemies to even out the playing field. This apparently is considered passive gameplay, and there is some reason in that logic. AA just having free passes to dispatch the enemy punishes the enemy team for doing everything right, and that just doesn't make for good gameplay. For that, that's a strong reason to nerf AA. So if AA is to be nerfed, how should it be done? Some say that Airfield AA should be given a reload time, which actually makes sense. Rolands have only 2 missiles per batch, and it can't reload while it's guiding a missile, which is one of its biggest drawbacks in ground RB. So to limit its usefulness, let the Roland fire off 2 of its missiles and won't get to reload until the 2 missiles have detonated. This gives players a window to defeat the player on the airfield before AA comes online again. But this is one problem. It's not a be-all end-all solution. SAMs only appear on airfields at matches with battle ratings above a certain rank. Below that, there are even the more powerful flak guns that can damage your aircraft despite any maneuver you pull. And that also includes the airfield nearest the center of the map in prop matches. And in top tier battles, even if you nerf the reload of the Rolands, there's still the M247 to worry about. So this suggestion really only covers a small portion of the problem, because airfield camping is also a thing in low tier air RB, and it's just as much of a problem as it is in top tiers. Another suggestion is to limit the active time of Airfield AA. Some range from 30 seconds to a minute. Obviously, in this scenario, bombers can go to hell, because they do take more than 30 seconds to land, just adding to the contempt players have against bombers. But that's for another video. We'll just focus on the effect of reducing AA active time. Honestly, a 30 minutes, or 30 seconds or minute could just be used by AA campers to reset engagement instead of actually land. They already do it now, but a shorter duration will make landing to refuel and rearm very unviable, so they either just end up resetting engagements or crashing to deny kills. So we've taken a brief look at the most viable suggestions for AA nerfing. Let's hop the fence into the camp of those who wish AA to remain the same or even be buffed, and the reasoning. The first reason is that sometimes the only way to have a fighting chance is to have Airfield AA. Being able to land, refuel, and rearm gives them an opportunity to fight back. Or, for those wishing to save repair costs, it gives them a chance to save their aircraft by landing and J'ing out. And I also understand that sentiment. No one wants to be punished and condemned to a guaranteed death because their team played horribly. Some advocates of AA nerfing say that it's a consequence of playing poorly. Personally, I beg to disagree. I've had matches where I've pulled it from the brink because I decided to take off and fight back. My personal philosophy is that whether we're down by an inch or a mile, I'll still fly because damn it, I have to at least try. Of course, others don't share this philosophy, and honestly, I respect that. Learning when you're beat can save you a lot of grief in the long run. However, as long as you can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat by abusing ground targets, bombing bases, and taking out AI aircraft, I believe there is always a chance to win, no matter how bad things should get. So I believe the only modifications to be done is not with Airfield AA, but rather other features that is conducive to griefing. Jaying out of the airfield every time a plane passes by doesn't make for good gameplay. Personally, that's what I would modify, and if I were to modify it, you should at least wait 5 or 10 seconds to be able to do it again. The main purpose of being allowed to jay out of the airfield is to be allowed to quit and keep your aircraft or change loadouts, not to grief enemy players. To that end, a 5 or 10 second interval between airfield jay out should be implemented. A solution to base camping has to be balanced. It should not swing so hard to one end that there's basically no point in landing on an airfield, or to the other end that landing on the airfield is the only actual strategy to victory. But that's a dilemma. Both sides have equally valid claims on why AA is a boon or a bane. I think Airfield AA's issue will not have a clear-cut solution. It's a complex issue that needs to have a complex solution. Whether it's to fundamentally change the nature of airfields or fundamentally change ARB mechanics, I see no simple and direct approach as we've tried to see in this video. But that's what I think. Thanks for watching. With the event coming this Monday, I'll have plenty of footage again to talk about upcoming topics like battle rating changes and the Why Britain Suffers video. This is the Dr. MD, and as always, Godspeed.